meeting for May to order. Lori, can we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Carrie Peters. Here. Dennis Minnick.
Here.
Diana Larson.
Here.
Diane Hahn.
Here.
Becky Klein is absent.
Okay, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Has everybody been able to look at the agenda, and do we have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Okay. Dennis?
Yes.
Okay. Diane?
Yes.
Becky? Do you want to vote? Say yes.
Yes.
And I say yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, it passed. Okay, for the consent agenda, if you've looked through it for approval of the minutes, financial reports, and statistics, anything to discuss? If not, we have a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Okay, no opposed. No public comment, so, and there's no unfinished business, so we'll move on to new business. The Harrisonville rent payment for the remainder of 2026. We discussed it some last time and approved for the April payment, but not for the rest of the year, so that's what we're voting on tonight. Is there a discussion?
I will note one item on it. I don't really know how it will affect, but I know that they were bidding out the insurance. I remember that it doubled or whatever last year, and they're rebidding it, and it's coming in back to the old buck. So that could drop it considerably. I think, I don't know what the numbers were, but it's more in line with what it was 2 years ago as opposed to this past year.
I think Jessica Jones said that that they weren't including the increased premium in the amount,
So they were basing it on,
what they had already been basing it on when we were paying from the previous agreement.
okay. And I was gonna say, it might lower it, but anyway, I did think that was also interesting to note that they were able to get the rate back down.
Was there ever any more discussion with them on these numbers?
I did not reach out for anything further.
I think, and again, this is kind of secondhand information, but I think Becky had a pretty good meeting, if I remember correctly, with Jessica going over a bunch of this. So I think, I could be totally off base here, but I think she was pretty comfortable with what this was. Did you know any more about it than that?
No, I believe that the Historical Society has supplied all that they are intending to supply to support the amount. And, I mean, I can tell you, I mean, I know that they've got a lot of maintenance stuff that's going on right now around here. They're definitely
Yeah, we can hear the
investing.
report.
Yeah, they're investing quite a bit into the building every month, so.
I was still just disturbed that the professional fees were still on there. That we were paying for them. Doesn't seem like that's operational costs after lease, but.
Yeah, I understand general repairs, including the vendors, but I'm saying to you, I don't understand the professional fees.
What's their treasurer's name again? I want to say Bruce, but that's not it.
Their treasurer?
The guy who pays the bills.
Oh, I don't know.
Would that be part of his fee? The guy who,
Are you talking about maybe the accounting
The accountant.
services?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
do you guys want to vote for one more month, or do you want to just take a vote? I mean, do we want to put this behind us and,
I'd say, we're only looking at what, 9, 10 months?
Well, 6 months for this year.
Well, but I mean,
till we're out?
yeah, so, we may be talking, what, $500 difference or something. And we, if the insurance, depending on if they're using old numbers or new numbers, might come down a little bit. I really don't know if it's really worth our time to keep coming back to this. I can tell you that paying the CCAC's bills, yeah, they have a lot of bills. So, I don't know, I've authorized more money than I ever thought was involved in it, so I kind of like the treasurer.
Sorry to laugh, Dennis.
Yeah, so. But anyway, I would make the motion to go ahead and just accept this for the remainder of the year. And if we do find out that there could be a reduction because of insurance or maybe the professional fees, we have the right to maybe go back on it, but if all things are equal, let's just pay it for the rest of the year and see where we are in January.
And I'll second that. Okay, let's take a vote. Dennis?
Yes.
Diane?
Okay, yeah.
Sherry?
No.
Diana, yes. Okay. All right. Our last piece of new business, considering the investment of reserves for debt service funds into MOSIP. Something we need to vote on tonight.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes, so I just think it's a wise use. The money is sitting there. It's set aside for future use. We can't do anything with it right now. It should be earning interest. And so we've had good luck with using MOSIP for other or CD investments, and we could put it in maybe a 12-month. Lori's looked at a few rates.
They're about the same. They're very close.
So like 3.96% for a 12-month CD versus a 6-month would be 3.9%, which is like a difference of $70. But we talked about, Lori and I talked about today, we have our other CDs, we have them, they come up at the end of October. And with the way interest rates fluctuate and whatnot, we thought it might be a good idea to go for a 12-month for this now, and so that we'd have those on different timing,
How much were you thinking?
the full amount.
The
Well,
debt
100
service.
The debt service.
Okay, but
Yeah.
the reserve funds that, yeah. You guys approved that amendment last month, I think.
Yeah, so there's a total of $130,000 in that budget line now. And so that's what we're proposing to do. I think I did write up a memo sheet for this. I'm not sure it ended up in your packet, so
That's
I
why we're-
apologize. We're still,
I'm digging.
Yeah, that's why we look confused.
yeah, we're looking
back
for, but that's basically what my suggestion was, is to, and we have to have board authorization to do that. So that's what we wanted to put in front of you this evening.
So on the budget line, it's the reserve for debt service, the 130.
Yes.
Okay, any questions or discussions for Robin?
I think it's a good idea, because we can't start retiring bonds anyway for 5
8
or
years.
6, yeah, 5 years. Was it 8 years?
Yeah.
Something like that. And what are we getting in the checking, or in the savings account now? Just in our regular general operating, we're getting 4%, so it's real close to that. So,
Well, that's more than a CD would be.
That fluctuates, doesn't it?
yeah.
This is locking in a rate in.
It's 3.96%, 4%. It's not gonna,
The savings account fluctuates, is that what you're saying?
the general operating, yeah.
Is that according to how much we have in the account?
Nope. It's market value.
Oh, okay.
Nope, and these have been going up. They send me an email, once a week, so, of course, they were going down the last couple of years, and that was kind of discouraging, but then in the past probably 6 months, they've gone up a little. In the past probably 4 weeks, they've remained steady, so that's a little encouraging, so I'm hopeful that they're on their way up a
And
little.
so if we do the 12-month, it's 3 point what?
3.96.
Okay.
So, I mean, that would give us like a little over $5,000 in interest on that 130,000, so just in 1 year, so we might as well be earning some interest on that, since that's a reserved, earmarked, for reserve for debt service, so that's what our thoughts were on that, so.
Any other?
I move that we go ahead and take that reserve for debt service and put it over in that CD at least 3.96%.
Second.
All in favor? Or should I go one at a time?
Probably roll call.
Okay, roll call. Dennis?
Aye.
Diane?
Yes.
Sherry?
Yes.
Diana, yes. Okay. Lee, branch activity report.
Yeah. Well, you all saw the groundbreaking thing, so I won't go into that. We hired one person, lost one person last month. We're almost done, hopefully, hiring for the children's specialist here. Should know that in the next few days. The other current opening, I don't know that we got anybody for the facilities position, so we're gonna maybe try that again in the future. Maybe tweak what the job is, so. We talked with folks from the American Parkinson's Disease Association. They have some kits aimed at rural communities, and we've got 2 kits from them that we're adding to the exploration library. It has a lot of health resources and stories and local contact information for people that might want that information, and maybe a little further away from some healthcare resources than other places. We should have our summer marketing campaign happening soon. We're sending out 2,000 postcards to recently lapsed people. The first one should be in early June, and the second set should be in early July. And we've had success in the last few years of getting people to come back and get their library card by targeting that same group. We'll also do a corresponding email campaign that should get 9,000 other users. The focus with the postcards is to get to people maybe that aren't getting emails or aren't seeing our Facebook marketing and stuff like that. So it's pretty targeted. Tax day came and went, and we helped 750 plus patrons get tax assistance this year. So that's always a good and very well received service that AARP helps us provide. And this isn't on here, but we've finalized our training to become a fingerprinting location at NRC, and we should have our trainings on June 10th and 11th, and then go live with that service on June 12th, which is a Friday. So if all goes according to plan, that should actually be occurring soon.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Hey, Robin.
So yes, this was the first month that we did all of the board packet preparation and agenda publishing through Civic Plus. And I think it actually went pretty well, even though we obviously have a few little kinks to work out. And of course, the minutes, that's part of this too. And Lori's, this is her first time doing minutes, through it as well. But we can go back and tweak things and figure out what worked this time and what we need to work on next time. So, but I think we're gonna adapt to it pretty quickly. And now, all of these materials, they'll be published when we post for the meetings, and they'll stay there. And so, if you guys need to go back and look at anything, or anyone from the public wants to go back and look at previous things moving forward, they can do that and be able to search by keywords and things like that. So you wouldn't have to necessarily remember what month the thing was discussed or whatnot. So that's good. The Storywalk pathway, and the posts that will hold the signs are all installed now. And we're working on, facilities is working on doing, some complimentary landscaping with like native plants and things like that right now. The signs are on order. They're just not in yet, and I don't know when exactly they're coming in. So we do want to still plan to have a ribbon cutting, but we want the signs. So once we either have them or know when they're going to arrive and be installed, we can kind of actually cement that. So it may not actually happen before the summer library program kickoff, but I still think it'll be a nice complimentary event to have during the summer while we're celebrating. So, and it's nice because if you go and look at it, that property, it now, instead of just being just a big like yard looking thing, it actually looks more park-like. So it looks more intentional, and I think it's gonna be great. So, and then Harrisonville project, everything is moving along well there, even with the recent rain. They've done a lot of the underground, like the roughing in for all of the floor things, and like sewer lines and things like that, and working on utility coordination. So we met with them this morning. They were talking about the slab is going to be poured here, and the structural steel is arriving this week. And so they expect next week we'll be coordinating the steel and letting the slab cure, and then in June we should actually start to see the structure start to build upwards. So when you drive by, you'll be able to see that going on. So very exciting.
That's kind of incredible. Once they started, it's moving really fast.
It is, yeah.
It is really, really moving fast. Thank you, thank you. Okay. No, Dennis, CCIC?
Okay, so we met last week, and elected officers, that was exciting. Like I said, I'm treasurer, but that's because I was one of the people on they use an automated pay system, so we just approve them and they pay them. They replaced the air conditioning, last month?
Here?
Yeah, in this building.
Yeah, that was like a couple weeks ago.
Okay, and I guess they had been putting Band-Aids on that for several years. And finally decided the Band-Aids weren't working, so they got the new air conditioning in. We're going to finalize bids to redo the parking lot, and we've decided to take it totally out and replace the sidewalk and front, so it will probably affect the library. I assume they will probably do it like in 2 different periods or something to hold it down, but it'd probably be a 2 or 3 day where it would be an issue. But the bids came in on that around $70,000. And then there's, for some of you that were around here quite a while back, you will be shocked to find out that there are issues with the slide pads on the steps. And so they're looking to replace those. They got some bids, but they wanted to know who the library used And I have no idea. It was Hometown? Okay, I think they've been in contact with Hometown, and I don't know if they didn't want to do it or what, I don't know what the deal was, but anyway, yeah, I was shocked to find out that there's issues with the stairs, and I said, why don't you wait till next year? The paperwork has been signed to begin the procedure of closing the CCIC, but it can't be submitted at least until after the 1st of June because they need to get the quarterly financial statement for the first quarter of the year to include with it, so that they have the latest monetary numbers to submit to the Attorney General and the Secretary of State. But she said that another 501c3 ceased operation a few months ago, and the turnaround time from the state was very quick. So hopefully, I thought the stuff was already filed. I was hoping it was already filed, but hopefully that will all be resolved here in the next few months, because I don't want to go to any more meetings.
Thank you, Dennis. Okay, when they were talking about the parking lot, are they gonna wait till after the summer or not?
I think their goal is to get it done as soon as they
Okay.
can. They had 3 bids. One only wanted to do an asphalt overlay, so they went back and said, no, we want the whole thing done. And one of the 3 criteria is who can do it the quickest, who can get to it the quickest.
Oh, okay.
So, because there was a fairly substantial difference in price between one bid and the other 2. But then the question really came down to stuff I don't understand, but, the steel that they use and all that kind of thing. But they want to totally redo it because, again, you look at it, and it will take it goes out to, I think, where the city, where it curves in there, everything on this side of it is what they will do. So, and the sidewalks out front. So it'll be nice, they'll have a nice building.
Thank you very much. Okay, any trustee comment?
I have a question. Did we hear back from Shannon about the Garden City Library?
No, he's still working on that.
Okay.
Anyone else have anything to say? Okay, well, then I guess I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. No one opposed. All right, well, thank you for coming.
And no closed session.